Rosie on Rosie Radio. 8779 for Rosie.
Ted Bundy was the one that flipped me out. In the book that I'm reading, I don't want to ruin it, called Room, but, he does a ploy, the guy who gets her. And the mother tells the son how they ended up in the room, because the son doesn't know there's any world outside the room, right? And she was trying to explain to him how it happened, and it was very Ted Bundy-esque,
Do you have a real fear, or have you in the past had a real fear that it would happen to you?
Yeah. Murder on the Whole.
Murder on the Whole and serial killing? Really?
Jeanette, when we were on the road, don't you remember I used to move the dresser in front of the door in the hotel? I would physically push the dresser in front of the front door and not go to sleep until the lights came on.
And you hated to be alone in the room. If you could get somebody that would share it, you would actually rather stay in the room with somebody, I remember.
Not in that kind of way. But
No.
Like a waitress or a room. Yeah,
somebody.
If I could get someone else to sleep in the room, I would always prefer that. Totally, yes.
Yeah.
I hated being alone. I hated being in those comedy condos where everybody in the town had a key. And Paul from Houston. Hi, Paul.
Hey, Rosie, how's it going?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I love all you guys. Just have to say that I spoke to you last year on my birthday, and you really made my day. So,
happy birthday again.
No, I just wanted to comment on the whole putting the dresser in front of the door thing. I used to do that, and oh my God, I thought it was crazy for doing that. But at least it's, I'm not alone in this.
No, and when did you start doing it? Do you know? And
oh my God, it was a few years ago. I was living on my own. I had a pretty rough childhood. I won't go there, but
well, I think it's related, which is why I asked.
Oh yeah, I'm in therapy for it now. Trust me.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay, so you started it a few years ago.
Yeah, I would say I was about 23, 24.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've always been really obsessed about locking the door before I go to bed and checking the closets and the shower curtains and, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, it got really bad because I was living on my own. My partner and I had just gone through a bad breakup. And, I would used to push I'm sorry, I'm getting nervous.
Don't get nervous.
I used to push the dresser in front of the door. I would have to have every single light in the apartment on.
Same with me,
and
Paul.
I would just sit there, and sometimes I would pray, or I'd turn the music up really, really loud.
Yep.
Why? I don't know. I would just sit there until the sun came up, and then I would just crash because I was so freaking sleepy.
Paul, you're talking about my life for a good 10 years. When I was on the road, that's what I did for 10 years. I could not go to sleep until the light started to come up from the dawn.
I totally get that.
Now, all the stuff that happened in your childhood, are you now seeing a really good shrink?
I'm seeing a therapist. She's a free therapist provided at our little GLBT center here, which is awesome because otherwise I couldn't afford it. I don't have health insurance.
And you go once a week?
I go once a week, and she seems pretty good. I mean, I haven't been very long, but
and
it seems to be working.
Do you remember details of your childhood, or is it a little fuzzy?
There are some details that couldn't be any clearer. Like my brother was murdered when I was like 3 years old, and I remember that.
Oh, honey.
Yeah.
And you wonder why you put the dresser in front of the door.
Yeah, exactly. But there are other things that I've kind of dissociated. I can't really get a clear picture of. I remember people telling me about them, but I can't remember them.
In terms of abuse?
I'm working on that too.
Abuse for you?
No, for my sister. I actually witnessed her being sexually abused, but I can't remember that.
Well, just so you know, from my experience and from a lot of reading and stuff that I've done, when you do remember horrific events that cause you to dissociate and to compartmentalize, they often come back as fragments, almost like you would see in a kaleidoscope. And they don't come into clear focus, and it's just a feeling or a moment or a split second, and you think, what was that? And it's tricky. It doesn't arrive like a slideshow. It arrives in fragmented form, Paul. So don't expect that you're going to all of a sudden see, some clear memory like a VCR or a DVD tape. It's going to be something like a funhouse mirror where you're not really sure what you saw.
But at this point, I'm not even sure if I want them to come back because, I remember my brother's murder. Well, I shouldn't say murder because I didn't witness the murder, but I witnessed the body with the knife in it, and I had nightmares for that for years.
Who killed your brother, Paul?
I don't know. He was killed at a 4th of July party when I was really young.
And how old was he?
He was 18. He was a much older brother.
And you lived in the house with him?
My parents had just separated, and it was my dad's weekend to have me. And we were, we'd just gotten in from seeing the fireworks, and we went to bed. And I remember he got a call in the middle of the night, and we rushed out. And my brother, we went to this house, and there was a big yard, and, you could see there was people just standing around something. And we walked up to it, and sure enough, it was my brother. There was a knife in his chest. And I was 3. Most people think I can't remember it, but I remember every detail about that night.
I believe you remember that.
It's ironic, because there are other things in my life that were much happier that I can't remember. But
that you do.
Yeah, and I just wanted to thank you guys as well, because for the past year or so, I've been having this crazy anxiety and depression, and you had Judy Gold on your show talking about depression and how she couldn't get out of bed, and oh my God, that's just exactly what I was going through. And then Jeanette talks about her fear of always thinking she's going to die. That's me on a daily basis. From the moment I get up, I think today will be the day that I die.
Okay, now, and, Paul, do you take any medication for anxiety?
I do. I had some. I didn't have success at first with just different antidepressants that my shrink tried to put me on. But now I'm on Zoloft. It seems to be helping, but I still have terrible anxiety, and I'm not a huge fan of the benzodiazepine family of drugs. It's just a long story there, but...
The benzo, though, that's like the Xanax and those things?
Yeah, the Xanax, the Ativan. Because, I have Ativan to take as needed, but I really don't like taking it.
Like when you have a panic attack or something?
Yeah, exactly. And when my anxiety just gets so bad, I can't do anything. But
generalized anxiety disorder can be really paralyzing, right?
Tell me about it.
And if you really are concerned about getting dependent, you can talk to the doctor about that and, try to sort of find a level that will just allow you to get back to the surface. And then, maybe you won't have to be on it forever necessarily.
Terrifies me.
Do you ever go to, like, any Anon meetings, like an Al-Anon?
Yeah, I have. Lucky for me, I live in Houston, and I live in Montrose, which is, the gay area, and there's so many programs out there, NA, CMA, SA, every A you can think of, and, they've been beneficial. There's just some things I don't always agree with, and I try and go with an open mind, but sometimes it can be pretty hard, because I'm not uber religious.
Yeah.
And some of the meetings are very, go to your higher power and pray, and I pray, but there's certain places I really don't want my higher power to be involved with.
Like what?
Well, I went to a Sex Addicts Anonymous meeting one day, and he told me, invite your higher power into the bedroom. I'm just like, I don't think so.
Right. But, a Sex Addicts Anonymous meeting can be very helpful to be in the presence of other people who have the same kind of addiction issues. And, maybe it's not that specific person, but you get a sponsor, Paul, and they could help you through that as well. So you can find some sort of peace or solace away from all kinds of addictions. And it seems as though you grew up surrounded by that, and that maybe there's a genetic propensity for that inside of you as well, and that there is hope to get away from that if you put in the work.
True. Yeah, I get that. I did some smart recovery, and occasionally I'll do a smart recovery meeting online. I really like that because it's built around, cognitive behavioral therapy methods for addiction, and I really take well to that.
Right. Well, listen, I wish you the best, Paul. I do. I hope that you don't give up, because you can, live a little more peacefully inside of yourself and not have to have the dresser in the front door. And as somebody who's lived with anxiety for a very long time, I can tell you there is freedom from it if you are able to work it through.
Well, thank you so much, Rosie. I very much appreciate that. And your show, it helps me on a daily basis more than you'll ever know.
All right. Well, I just want to ask you one question, and, it doesn't matter what your answer is, really. What's your favorite color, Paul?
Blue.
Blue, that's the winner answer, and here's your gift.
You're getting $711 brought to you by 7-Eleven. Be sure to pick up this month's Cup with a Cause Celebrity Coffee Cup designed by Will Ferrell.
If you had said yellow, Paul, you would not have won.
I don't believe you.
You're right, I'm lying.
I'm going to cry, Rosie. Thank you so much. And
Thank
you guys all have a Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to Shoshana. And
well, thank you, honey. Take care of yourself, okay?
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, Shoshana.
How cute that he said hi, Shoshana. He said,
hi, Shoshana.
All right.
I think he was trying to include her. He said Merry Christmas to us. And
I know, but it's just sweet, right? Hi, Shoshana.
Rosie Radio.
Your stars. Sirius XM stars.